Hello, in this video, I will show you the role of a front desk officer and how you can manage patients, register new patients, welcome old patients, set appointments, bill patients, and all other actions that you can perform as a front desk officer. So I'm going to log in as Joy, who happens to be the front desk officer at my hypothetical hospital. If you are logging in for the first time, you will find that these are the modules that have been assigned to you. You have been assigned appointments because you manage appointments. You have been assigned clients, which is also patients because you manage patients. You have been assigned communication because you need to communicate with your colleagues in other departments. You have been assigned complaints because you want to send out a complaint to be able to communicate with our support team when you send out a complaint. Also, you have been assigned finance because you should be able to manage payments, view service lists, and what have you. Then this is the login button for log out button, I beg your pardon, for you to log out. This is your landing page. As I said before, you can manage your profile using this button. You can see all your notifications using this button. You can send out a complaint to our support team using this button. This is the hospital you're logged on to. This is the hospital's logo. And you want to manage your locations by clicking this button to toggle from one location to another. So, as a front desk person, let's assume in a hypothetical scenario that a patient walks into your hospital and this patient is a new patient. At this point in time, you need to register the patient, bill them for new card, bill them for consultation, set up an appointment for them to see a nurse for a doctor, and a nurse, on the next lineup in the workflow would take out their vitals and send them to the doctor. So let's go on to manage our patient. I'll click on patient. See how we can see the list of patients that exists on our list. If you want to make the list a little longer, you can click on, you can extend the number of items on that is currently showing by, changing the number you want to view. So um, we have a list of 20 patients, currently logged into, registered in this hospital. Remember, we're managing a new patient. If in your case, this is your first time logging in, your hospital has recently been onboarded, you don't have any patients currently registered, and you have an Excel spreadsheet that has a list of your previous patients from your previous system, you can click on the upload button to upload that Excel spreadsheet. I'll be sharing a different video to show you how you can upload. So without wasting time on upload, let's go on to create or to register a new patient. So to do that, you click on create new client. Remember, we use client in place of patient. So there are situations where you're going to be in need of a very fast and quick registration process because possibly it's an emergency situation or you don't have a lot of information that you would need to fill out a full registration. You can use the quick registration form. But in the case where you have all the time, you have all the patient information, please click on full registration, which I'll be demonstrating for this video. So the name of our patient at this time is Bell, and the last name for Bell is Juma. Bell Juma, word name. Date of birth for Bell, you can actually type in the date of birth. Okay, you can't type it at this time, okay. Or you click on the calendar icon here to select the year. See how I clicked on this drop down? Scroll, let's say Bell was born in May 1st, 2000, year 2000, and Bell is female. There's a female. Okay, female. Phone number, you need to enter a valid phone number. So let's say let's use it's my phone number 50 53 28 23. Using this number, the reason why I'm using this number is because it's going to tell me that other patients have been registered with this number. I have the option to link this new patient and the existing patient, or say No, they are both different individuals. So see how I moved, and it's going to tell me, oh, clients with similar information already exist. Do I want to duplicate? Do I want to register? I'm going to say no. And let me find, no, please excuse me. Let me use a different phone. Let me try this one. Oh, already exists. A big problem. Um, just give me a minute. Let me see. Um, 76 is 255. Yeah. Okay. This number does not exist. This is a number that does not exist, honestly. Honest to God. Let me be certain it really do not exist. Okay, now it does not exist. So let's say the email of this patient is, I don't know if this already exists, but let me use this because I want to be able to send out emails. Right, so yeah, that was accepted. And let's say this patient is married, the medical record number from our hospital. So your medical record number, if you use a filing system, you can just enter that number here. The patient is a Christian, profession, let's say civil servant. I could use the medical record number as my tag because I want to, my tag is something I can use to search for this patient, right? Client level, let's leave at client level 1. Means of communication, so let's say that's email, patient is black, that's not necessary. Uh, 2 Test Street, again, this is an address that does not exist. Let me say Kotun, local government, let me say Alimosho area, Lagos State, Nigeria. So I'll scroll and we can see we're about to fill the client medical data. So let's say this patient is B plus, genotype, let's say AS, not SS. AS, and there's no disabilities. Does this patient have allergies? Let's say this patient is allergic to dust. Any comorbidities? Let's say no. Specific details, let's say um, um, previously asthmatic. I think that's a very specific information that's useful. So client next of kin. So let's say the next of kin is John. John is the patient's spouse. Let's say John at john.com. Relationship, let's say spouse, address, occupation, civil servant. Let me scroll down again. Employer, so Bell's employer information. Let's say Bell works for federal government of Nigeria. Let's say no, it works for immigration. Okay, Lagos. Again, I just stop that. Lagos, Alimosho, Lagos. I'll leave this and I'll click on register patient to complete the registration process. So the client has been registered successfully. There's an error creating a particular, I think there's an error that happened here with creating the phone number because it doesn't exist, right? So I wouldn't bother about that. So here's our patient, our new patient called Bell Juma. Bell is registered. So if you click on this record here, you can find all the information that you just filled in. You can edit this information. So let's say Bell's next of kin is actually John Juma, not John John. So we can, you see how I updated, I clicked on update to update that information. So let's click on it again. John Juma has been updated. You can also bill this patient. So you can bill this patient because this patient has been registered. You want to bill for registration, but let's leave that aside for now. Um, if this patient, I would ignore create wallet at this time. Not important. We can do a different video for that. Payment information. Payment information, you want to add an HMO cover, a family plan, or a company cover if any of these exists for this patient. Let's do that in another video. For now, let's assume that this patient is a cash paying patient, no HMO, no any other covers. If this patient came in with previous health records and you want to upload them, you can upload it as an image if it's an image, a document if it's a document, or an archive. You can simply set a type and select that image, go to your folder and choose it if that particular folder exists in your computer. You want to schedule an appointment for this patient, we'll do that at a later time. You want to also generate an ID card. So if you have an ID card printing machine, you could generate that ID card. So there's no signature here because I am logged in and I do not have a signature set up yet. You can print this if you have an ID card printing machine at your hospital. Also, you can update the patient photo. This is needed for the patient ID card, right? So let me go on to click set a picture, profile picture for this patient. Okay, great. So now I've updated the patient photo. If I go on to generate, okay, it's not updated yet. So let me see. Okay. So you can see the patient photo. That's in case your hospital generates ID cards for first-time patients that's just registered with your hospital. So this is how you register a patient that's just walked into your hospital. If this patient comes in tomorrow, next week, next year, all you need to do is search for them using their name. See how it pulled out records of patients with the name Bell. If you want to be a little bit more specific, see how I use Juma to get the patient name. Another thing I want to try is using the patient unique tag. So you see how I use the tag to pull the patient's record as well. So tags will help you to pull out specific records on the database, right? So this is how you register a patient. In my next video, I will show you how you can. Okay, let me just continue because of I'll just continue. So let's say I want to register. I've finished registering this patient, and I'm supposed to book an appointment for this patient to see a doctor. I'll go to appointment here, and I'll click on add new to generate a new appointment for this patient. So let's say the patient's name is Bell. I'll choose Bell. Payment method is cash, so we'll leave that. Which doctor are you assigning this patient to? Dr. Lee, so I'll select that. Which clinic are you sending this patient to? So let's say GOPD clinic, so I'll select that. Is it an on-site visit, as in a physical appointment, or a teleconsultation? Let's save that as an on-site visit. Um, what date and time? So let's say this appointment is for today, and this appointment is for let's say 3 p.m. today. Great. Appointment type is new. Appointment status is confirmed. Confirmed because the patient is right there. Why is this patient here? To register for monthly checkup, right? Okay. Do you want to send an email to this patient? Yes. Do you want to send an email to the doctor telling them there's an appointment? Yes. So this is optional. If the patient is already there, I don't think there's any need. But if this patient is going to be going and coming at a later date and time, you want to ensure that you're sending them an email to remind them of this appointment. So let's click on create appointment to finalize this. So this is asking me to select an email that I want to use to send this particular message. So this is the email I'm using, and it tells the this is the description of what this email link is used for. So I'll select it and I'll click on create appointment to schedule this appointment. Successfully scheduled. Now you can bill the patient. Okay, we weren't able to send out this thing because the email that I used is not working, a live email. So remember I said that there are two ways you can send out emails. That's just one way. Another way you can send is by clicking on the patient here and go to schedule appointment. The patient name is already selected. Search for the doctor's name. I'm not going to click this, but let me just show you. Okay, the location for the appointment, GOPD, on-site, date and time. Mm, okay, appointment type new, appointment status confirmed, reason testing. Let me just say I'm testing this. And you click on submit. So I'm not going to click it because I already created an appointment. So that's another way you can generate an appointment again. Now let's proceed to bill this patient. One way you can bill the patient is from here, but I would recommend that you go to finance because I already assigned bill service to you. So we'll click on bill service and let's click on add new. So we'll search for the name of the patient. Name of the patient family is Juma. Mm. You know what? Because billing is a very long process. So let's deal with billing in a different video.